Bump, bump. Welcome back, everybody. What a wonderful Saturday. So, Jay, I hear the stock market's crashing.
Huh?
I hear the stock market's crashing.
Yeah, more importantly, I got a debate on Sunday.
Oh,
hey, dude.
I'm bringing on the Tesla bull that he said that what would happen if we debated is he would just walk in, he would ask me a bunch of questions about Tesla's technology, make me look stupid, and the debate would be over. I was like, oh, I can counter that. Yeah, that's called the God of the Gaps argument. That's a really easy logical fallacy to counter. And then I said, all right,
Fabio,
fool me. And the guy, like, this is the thing. The guy doesn't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to walk in and I'm going to tell him, like, I'll grant your assumptions on Tesla and start the argument from there.
So just for context, everybody, Jay Nagy's going to be debating a Tesla shill tomorrow. So if you want to check that out, I'll be watching that. That'll be interesting.
I'm going to be watching that.
Dude, I'm going to grant him his numbers from the beginning and then start the argument.
Is this guy actually, does he have a YouTube channel, or is he just a random dude in the chat?
He was a dude who kept telling me, I don't know what I'm talking about. And he said, why don't you stand up and tell the class when you would have got into Amazon over the past 10 years when you keep talking about the PE ratio? And I was like, yeah, I wouldn't have. And then he's like, you would have lost out on all those gains. And then I said, Amazon's massively overvalued. I don't care. And I'm like, I own Amazon anyways in an index fund. Why would I load more of that up?
Because it's a great stock, bro.
No, I know, but it's astonishing that every value investor I've ever met, if somebody tells them their assumptions are wrong, they look at the person and they go, wait, why are you saying that? Oh, I think it's going to be this, this, and this. And they'll grant the argument and start looking into it. Maybe they don't agree, but it doesn't start off with ad hominem attacks and butthurt feelings. Tesla bulls are in a cult. The whole thing is a goddamn cult.
Jay, I feel like you're attacking me personally because I'm the king of ad hominem attacks on YouTube.
Well, certain people like Meat Spin and Lafufu. Lafufu's freaking out about the stock market, and it's almost like a chimp not understanding thunder in a thunderstorm.
The funniest thing is I need to check like correlations, but I mean, I imagine small caps are probably highly correlated with large caps, U.S. stocks. So I think what he's hoping is if large caps tumble, that's going to be the time to shine for large or small caps to explode. I mean, I don't know. I need to look.
Small caps in general. This is just a generality from what I know, and I could be wrong on this, but from what I know, small caps will outperform large caps up and down. So if you go into a major market crash, the small caps are going to crash harder than the large caps because there's more security in large caps.
Well, they're more volatile. I mean, obviously, because they're smaller, more speculative companies. But I think he's thinking that, with once the large caps go, all the world's going to dump into small caps and save his garbage companies.
Well, I got to put the video up, but I read the article on Daily Mail by Jeremy Grantham talking about the vampire bull market and how it's about to die, but it's been one of those bull markets enabled by the Fed where you just everything thrown at it and it doesn't die and you just think it's going to live forever.
Yeah, so this one feels different. I mean, it's funny saying that, but it does feel like the market is going to keep going down. I mean, I could be totally wrong. I can't predict the future, but it feels different this time.
I wanted to talk about this for this reason and get all of your thoughts on this. The market is tumbling on the mere threat of a rate hike of 25 points, right? Is Jerome Powell going to have the nutsack like Paul Volcker to do the right thing? I don't think you can do that in modern politics. I think they're going to try some screwy stuff if the market really corrects like it should. We need in my opinion, to get down to fair value, you need between a 40 and 60% drop in the stock market. Are they going to let them do that? Are they going to let that happen?
I hope so.
And then
I really am excited for a crash. Like I wish the market.
Yeah, I want one too. I want stuff on sale. But my question is, in the modern days of financial engineering, are they going to allow it?
I mean, the Fed can't do everything, you know, even if they do try something. I mean, like, at what point can they not control the stock market anymore?
Well, that's the question. That's the question I'm hoping we answer here, where the Fed finally learns that, hey, you can intervene in the markets for a while and then it'll work. And then eventually all of that piles up and there's nothing you can do.
Yeah. We'll just
It's
have
a
to
great
see.
Saturday to be margin called.
So I hear Meat Breath. I don't know. I don't have access to his private channel. If I made a lot more money on YouTube, I'd probably subscribe to his thing just so I could watch him. But apparently he sold all his stocks. I don't know why. I don't know if he got margin called. I don't know if he's just trying to time the market. But apparently
he's an idiot. He's an idiot and thinks
Do you think it's
time the
clickbait?
market.
No, I think
You think it's clickbait or that he actually did sell all his securities?
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, look how bad. Oops. You like how
His
I'm big
hair.
Chris
I'm
is
gonna
like,
leave
I'm the star. I want to be the star.
Ego.
Where'd
Chris has
Alex
got
go?
the ego. How big his screen is.
Lars is saying he doesn't think he sold Tesla. I hope that's the one stock he held on to.
Fucking better be, man.
Well, I mean, like even Jeremy,
Dude.
you know, Tesla is probably not going to have a good next year when even Jeremy's worried about it. Because I was watching one of his videos. I mean, I usually can't make it through his videos; they're way too long, and he's too long-winded. But in one of the videos, he's like, "I don't think Tesla's growth rates are going to be like they were before." Really, Jeremy, you're just now realizing this, you freaking loser.
Well,
Dude, I got a theory. I think Kevin, his hair length signifies how much money he has in the market. Since now he's fucking bald.
Yeah, that'd work.
He's bald and he sold everything.
I actually think he's a cross-dresser and he likes to go to drag shows. So
What
his
if my hair reflected the market? Like as I put more money in, I just grew like an out of skullet with like the few hairs that I have on top, and I tried to comb it over and pretend like I have hair.
Wait, is there a way I can make Jay big? Jay, say something.
What? I don't know. I'm technologically retarded.
Actually, I like this view the best. What do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah. We barely see Jay's head. Did you actually shave?
No, I haven't. I shaved last Sunday.
Oh.
I shave once a week, man. I'm out of the military, dude. I'm not shaving every day anymore.
Alex, greetings.
Hi. Greetings. How's everyone?
Good.
Hello, man.
Dude?
Greetings.
I'm better.
You got.
Alex,
You
I
had
heard all
you
your
had the
stocks are
kid.
down. You were following Jeremy Lafufu's advice, right?
No, never. I had Rona, man.
No, can't you see he has a full head of hair?
That means he's fully invested in the market.
I mean, has anybody anybody on this panel sold any stocks or done anything to change their portfolio because of this recent volatility?
No.
You talking about the
I
last
just
week?
want more VT.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. I'm talking about like the last one. I mean, have you done anything, Fabio? Or you just
I mean, there was my sale on Activision. I sold Activision when the pop happened. I made a video about it.
Did you suspect that was in any way or shape or form gonna
No,
happen?
and if I did, I would have had to have said it before I did that, because otherwise I'd be in trouble right now. Because I'd have to make that information public before if I somehow knew. But no, I said that in the video. I had no idea that would happen.
Yeah, I made a video about Activision. I think I said it wasn't a buy, and then of course it freaking shoots up 25% when Microsoft buys it.
Yeah.
Well, it's not really for a retail guy. Companies tend to overpay.
Yeah.
If you look at almost every acquisition, if you calculate the intrinsic value, you're like, why are they overpaying? But it's kind of a simplicity thing where Microsoft has so much cash on hand. They're like, we don't really care if we overpay a little bit. We got to deploy the cash.
Yeah, the way I kind of do it, and it's always my strategy, is when I pick a stock that's going to make it in the portfolio, I create a plan as to how it's going to be added. And then so, like, for example, Activision, when I put it through the model, it would have been close to a core position if it had gotten to the 40s. All right. But I started adding in the low 60s, mid 60s, and I had a strategy of nibbling in the 60s and then biting harder in the 50s, and then what I call gulping in the 40s. So, yeah. That's the metaphor I always use. So always when I add a stock, it's very few, very, very, very few when it's like a lump sum, one go. The only ones that I did that in more recent time was the 2 Chinese VIEs that are in my portfolio. That's it.
How many stoinks do you have, if you want to disclose that?
Yeah, so speculative assets I hold I think 6, and they make up less than 8% right now in total combined. And then for actual publicly traded securities that are non-speculative, I have, I think, close to 12 or 13. And then I have other things. But yeah, for publicly traded securities, I have it in 2 buckets: speculative and non-speculative.
That's smart, though. You can easily keep track of all that stuff. That's why I just look at people with like 70 stocks and I go, dude, you don't have time to keep up on all that stuff.
No. Yeah, if you go over like 30 or 40, I mean, just freaking index. Like, come on. What are you doing?
Yeah.
You have a small amount of stock or index?
I mean, I recommend, for somebody who does this professionally, whatever, buy a bunch of individual stocks, man. You have the time and the knowledge. But the average person, I tell them, I'm like, you're going to be better off with VT as your core, few other index funds, maybe, small cap or mid cap and whatever else. And then 5 to 7 individual stocks that are bangers. Like, how do you know whether it's a banger? Okay, market crashes, Intel drops into the 30s. I'm balls deep at that point.
You're gulping?
I'm gulping. I'm gulping Intel down. And I'm not saying it. And here's the thing. This is the weirdest thing about people. They act as though they have to buy a stock. And I just look at them and I go, you're FOMOing, dude. You don't have to buy any individual stock. If you look at Intel, if it dropped down to 40, I think that's a really good return. But if it doesn't drop to 40, there's other stocks out there that'll give me a really good return.
If it drops to 42, I'll look at it again. That was my initial.
I calculated it twice. Once I got $48, and this last time I got $55.
Damn.
Really? I got it at 45, I think. Yeah.
I could have been a little bit generous in my assumptions this time. So I don't know. I'm still not buying it. My target for it, where I want to buy it personally, I'm not saying it'll ever get there, is the low 40s. Even though my sheet tells me, hey, man, you can start buying it at 55 and you'll be fine. But
do you use 5-year or 10-year projection? Yeah,
10-year.
10-year?
I use 10-year, yeah.
Do any of you own Microsoft?
I wish I had bought it 3 years ago, but no, because then I would have sold out of it today.
I do, Alex.
Yeah, I have Microsoft too. Yeah. I think it's going to be very good stuff.
I've had Microsoft in my IRA for the last year and a half.
Yeah, if you bought it like a year and a half ago, I think right after the crash, it was trading at like 170 or 180.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if the market
was a really good price.
No, go ahead, Nate.
Oh, I was just saying, like, I got it at a really good price. I bought it actually outside of my IRA, like March 2020, and I held it for like 6 months. And then I did pretty well with that, and I rebought it like last year in my IRA, and it's like 5% of my Roth portfolio. So that and Apple are like my two speculative investments, but everything else is VT.
Ooh, that's cute. No, so I was saying, like, if the market keeps going down like it is, you know, I mean, this may be an opportunity, or I mean, it is an opportunity to really start looking at individual stocks. But I mean, as the market's been going up and up and up, there haven't been many opportunities. So I really haven't taken much time to even consider a lot of individual stocks. There's only a couple that everybody knows that I bought, but that's it.
Well,
hey, I have a stock I'm looking at. It's a really good buy right now. It's called a Very Good Food Company.
I knew something smart ass was coming by.
Dude, that was like, I think it's down like 80% or more since Chris LaFluffer told you to buy it.
I sent you a screenshot. It's literally, it was at like 50 when you made your video. It's down to 45 cents today.
All right, we got to share screen here for 1 second. Everybody needs to witness. You can't.
Dude, it's unreal.
To you, okay? You have to see this.
Oh my god! Let me see it.
Is that real? God.
It can't go down any further, guys. You should buy.
Yeah. It could go down to 0, man.
Guys, if it goes to $1, you almost double your money. I will buy the
Scribner was pushing that at like $3.
Dude,
Scribbles.
Oh my god. They got fucking annihilated for sure.
Dude.
Oh
Yeah, well, Scribner's like, yeah, I put 10,000 of my own money into it as well. So now it's like, what, 2,000?
Dude, yeah. I'm buying back Hospitality Holdings Monday. Strip clubs are the future in the metaverse. I agree, man. And there was one other.
The metaverse.
This one, I forget who asked it, but you asked, is this a index fund or index fund channel or a stock picker channel? Mostly index fund, but that doesn't mean you can't buy a few individual stocks to juicy up your portfolio.
I mean, if you want individual stocks, I mean, I do like one every 2 months because I'm lazy, but you can go to Capital Mindset, Fabio here, and Austin whenever he gets back from his thing. Yeah. He's the one that actually does like deep analysis, and he does only
Yeah.
There was also this
my clearance. I do. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, you go first. My thing's better.
Okay. I was just gonna say, the only other individual stock I'll probably own in the next like 6 months will be actually Baba, because once I'm a second lieutenant and I have like my clearance, then I can buy it, because it's easier like once you're a lieutenant than like getting checked and having people go through it for you. So I'll just wait.
You're a commie lover.
I am.
The only reason
capitalism.
The only reason Nate wants to buy Baba is because he hates Uyghurs.
Hey, easy.
Anyway, Fabio,
Bad
you were saying something?
No, it's there was a couple of videos that were released in December that were kind of touching upon the topics you guys were touching upon. You guys were expanding upon this individually when you guys were basically telling everyone that these individuals are buying very overvalued companies. And so I think the video was made early December and was posted sometime middle of December, but it was basically explaining why I was shifting strategy to removing volatility from my portfolio. So right now, for those of you who've been following, I'll say it now, I'm mostly cash or cash proxies. And there's caveat on cash proxies, but for the most part, it's removing volatility. And right now what we're seeing is that in the last live stream we did, we mentioned the margin, the amount of margin in the system. And just this mere threat of rising rates is going to deleverage the system a bit. And there's a lot of margin out there. So, and then you can kind of also see that this guy, Jeremy Lafufu, let's call him that. His strategy is simply buying a bunch of companies with high short interest. That's how I think, if I look back at all of his positions post his profitable period where he bought only profitable companies, I saw your content on that, Strongman, where you showed everyone that he used to say that I only buy profitable companies and speculate in non-profitable companies. He switched over and he started buying those with extraordinary short interest. So you see like Corsair, Upwork at the time. Well, Tesla was his big one. Tattooed Chef, you know, on and on and on. Smile Direct Club, all of those. Beyond Meat, that's another one.
Yeah, it's like literally all his stocks are just highly short, and he's just praying Wall Street Bets latches onto him.
Yeah,
right now, I don't have access to. Well, I don't have access to it, but people like I can find ways to see his private, his public portfolio. I just looked at a recent snapshot of it. It's actually, if you take out Tesla gains, he's in the red for all-time returns. All time, not this year. Ever since he started growing that portfolio, Tesla's the only thing keeping him up.
This is why I'm like, this is why I don't understand him, because I go, if you just have basic knowledge and you listen to what he says and then you go back and you look at his stocks, you would realize this guy is losing on every stock. So I don't like fault any individual person for getting it wrong. Like if you go into, we'll just use Intel again, and Intel doesn't pan out. Well, I'm going to look at you and go, I would have taken that bet too. But if you look at the stocks he buys, I just go, there is no way that I'm taking the money that I earn from a day's work and putting it into this crap. Like, how do you guys not see this?
I don't get, like, I looked at Tattooed Chef again. I was a little bit more, I wasn't like super in depth looking at it, but I looked at like all the margins over the last 3 quarters, and there's just nothing encouraging about, there's no positive trends. I just don't understand what he's seeing in this company, just being in all seriousness. But I mean, obviously, like Fabio said, it's about the short squeeze.
Well, even worse than that.
You want to know something that's fun?
What?
I was just going to say, something fun to do right now is go to Everything Money's video from like 4 or 5 months ago on Tattooed Chef. Read the comments people were leaving, and now you can just see like, oh, wow. Now Tattooed Chef is on its way to $5.11 a share.
What if that was
like, you don't understand Tattooed
Chef. People were telling me I was a moron because I was telling people it was worth its book value per share at best, and I still don't even think it's worth that because there's no cash on hand. The company is in debt. So it has an intrinsic value of 0. That's how much Tattooed Chef is worth.
I mean, you could buy the company, pay off its liability,
sell
pocket the rest. You could have a bunch of Buddha bowls or whatever they're called. And
their food is so bad, I wouldn't even give it to homeless people if I microwaved it.
Imagine a homeless guy. He's like starving to death. And you give him a Tattooed Chef Buddha bowl. He looks at you. Like,
he looks at you, throws it in your face, goes into the McDonald's dumpster and digs out a hamburger with a packet on it and flicks it off and eats it in front of you. And it's just like, Tattooed Chef's garbage, dude.
Turbo's like, I'm subscribed to Strongman, right?
Chris, a guy brought up actually a really good question. This is funny.
I just wanted to highlight that. What was the question?
The question comes from Edgar Campos, and he brought up, "Is there a Discord? You should actually consider that if you want to build like a little community of people."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because honestly,
like
it's hard for me to track all these losers. Like I can't watch all their videos, so it is a good idea. I don't know. Maybe I should charge for it too, like $50 a month. If I got people to sign up for it, that's $500 a month. Woo!
Chris, you still need to do a video of this guy Stink Blow.
Stink Blow?
Yeah, you almost that.
Yeah, he's just. I don't know if he publicly shows his portfolio. I mean, I've done a couple videos on him, but he's kind of boring to review. I mean, I'll do another one because why not? But I don't know. I have a lot more fun. LaFufu's my favorite to make fun of. I love it. I'm actually
And Chris Saint.
in my head.
Stockmo is just too bland. Like I'm like, that's what I think of him. I just think of a piece of Wonder Bread when I look at him. I'm like, there's nothing interesting about you, is there? You named your cat. What cat?
He's a teacher. Who cares, man?
No.
Doesn't he manage the pension fund of Pennsylvania? Something like that?
He said that. BS.
The best was making fun of Warren Redlick, and people are telling me I'm a moron and I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm like, this dude honestly does not understand that certain companies are overvalued. He didn't understand terminal multiples that Paul was using, going, if you use 20 times cash flow, this is just an arbitrary number you pulled out. Like, really?
I mean, you can use any number you want to justify whatever you want.
Yeah, but you want to do something more conservative. I could say, oh, this company, I should buy it at 100 times cash flow.
Yeah, I mean, if it's a large growth, not like it's just a large cap in general. I mean, it's obviously you want to have a lower multiple. You know, it's not going to grow as fast once it gets to a certain level of maturity. But people are snapping on 70 multiples to Tesla like meat breath in 5 years?
Yeah, but this is the thing that they don't understand. They'll go, you can't model Tesla like that in your discounted cash flow. I'm like, no, discounted cash flows account for actual growth. You can look at the numbers. When they come out, if it's a faster growing company, it'll be a higher PE ratio.
Yeah, exactly.
How about that?
Can't go wrong with TTCF grow.
I said, how about that Tom Nash though?
Oh, dude, crushing the game with his $5,000 a share of Tesla prediction. I'm like, yeah, I thought Tesla should be a $5 trillion market cap.
Well, go ahead.
No, I got a comment from one of your watchers. Actually, I think he's here in the chat. Julius Caesar told me that Tom Nash doesn't have he doesn't actually have the experience he claims he has.
No, he's
nowhere to be found. That he's even a senior analyst, something like that.
I'm a senior analyst. I have 10 years of history, bro.
Invest with Henry tries to say that he works for Goldman Sachs, and I go, worked for Goldman Sachs as or something like that as a financial analyst, and I go, okay, why are you recommending people buy Bio Nano stock then? Massive share dilution and no profits.
Dude, if you worked for Goldman Sachs, you wouldn't have time to make YouTube videos. I think those guys work 100-hour weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
I don't know. Maybe he's telling the truth. Maybe he's just a workaholic.
Why, if he's telling the truth about that kind of experience, why are you recommending a stock in a highly speculative technology that you don't understand?
Yeah, I mean, for the life of me, I can't figure out how to value unprofitable companies except to, project negative cash flows and then project when they're going to become positive and then project those. Or you can do a multiple of anything, multiple of EBITDA square root. But, I mean, I don't even try.
Just do what Fabio said. Just run its tangible book value. Because it really comes down to you're just going to buy it and sell everything anyways. It's really the only way you can think about it. Well, what about when it turns profitable? Okay, well, call me then. I can't anticipate when a company is going to turn profitable.
Dude, when somebody says that, point to Amazon. Point to freaking Amazon. Because Amazon was unprofitable, I think, till 2003. And it was much lower in 2003 than it was during its hype phase. So you could have bought after the crash, the dot-com bubble, when it was profitable and made way more. Way more.
Yeah, I agree. And I mean, right now, when people are like, you're saying Amazon's overvalued. How is it overvalued? Well, dude, it's a $1.8 trillion market cap or somewhere in there right now. Like, how much growth do you expect to get out of that? Right. So it's not really worth 1.8, 1.6 trillion. it's at a size now. Like, where are you getting massive growth from? This is why I really wasn't a fan of buying Amazon at really any point, because there's just too much unpredictability.
I bought Amazon like one time, and I bought a share because it's just too expensive to buy more than one share. I bought at 2,400, and I would never ever buy it again. I bought it 2,400, made a couple bucks, but I was like, I don't really think that this company has more room to go. I mean, it doesn't really. Once you get to $3,500 and your PE is like 40, what the fuck is there to do after that?
60. It was 60 last time I checked.
What so was I don't PE? Know. Oh shit, man.
Yeah, so I don't know where you expect to get that kind of growth with a company that large. Because I think this is the thing that people don't
there's just no
really think about is it's a lot harder to grow 90% when you're a $1.5 trillion company than it is when you're a $1 billion company. Just to use that as a loose metric. It's a lot more difficult to move the needle.
I mean, the whole problem is, all these people got stimulus checks, and there is still stimulus going on because
it is.
Child tax credit, that's $300 a month. I mean, I'm getting five freaking grand on my taxes back. That's stimulus, okay? And that's just from stimmy checks and crap. All this money got flooded in the system. All these companies had massive earnings, and everybody was like, oh my God, those earnings are just going to keep going like that up into the future. No, I think it's just a one-time thing. And a lot of these high growth, these large cap stocks, they're priced in to where they have this massive growth going perpetually into the future, which I think is totally freaking stupid. And it's a one-time thing. So that's the problem with the market right now.
I love how dumb I was for telling people that Peloton's intrinsic value is in the mid-20s.
Peloton. Do we even need to go there?
And now I don't even know. I would have to go back and recalculate it from my opinion. But
that was the most common sense do not buy stock if you've ever seen one. I mean, it shot up, lockdowns. Lockdowns aren't going to last forever. I mean, what do you think's going to happen to the stock when the economy opens back up?
Well, that was one of the biggest examples of the one flaw, the one thing I don't like about EM software. Because I'm sitting there and I go, I would never use their earnings per share from the current year. There was just a massive run up. So what I did on my sheet is I think I took an average, so it dropped it down. Because that's what I like to do on companies where I think they had an outsized year. I'll take a 3 or a 5 year average of earnings per share because I'm like, this is not going to continue going forward.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't even touch those kind of companies. If they had a massive spike, it's just so hard to know. Like, is it going to last? Is it not? It's just like, just freaking wait, see what happens. It'll probably crash, and then you can redo your analysis.
Well, the thing is you will never hit the exact intrinsic value of a stock because you can't. Because the intrinsic value of a stock or any item will differ by the person. So you might be in the general ballpark. Like I said with Intel, I calculated it twice. One at 48, one or 49, one at 55. Okay. But ultimately, it's going to come down to what my buy point is that I think in my head, which I'm not going to argue with you. If you tell me that your buy point is $42, I'm just going to go, okay, all right, well, I'm willing to come in at 45. So
42 and 10 cents.
Yeah.
Whatever Jay, you're wrong. Whatever I say the intrinsic value is and the buy point is the buy point. And I will not be questioned.
Guys, the problem beside the numbers is that people want to get rich fast. And as long as they don't have a process, if you present them with all the numbers and the free cash flow and discounted free cash flow, as Jay did with Tesla, it doesn't matter. People just want to get there because they think it's going to be a growth stock and they are going to make 10x, 20x, 100x. So it doesn't matter.
Yeah, the big problem is they see the stock go up and then they see that the company's going to keep growing into the future. And to them, it's common sense. It's like, well, the company's going to keep growing at 40, 50%, whatever. So the stock will keep growing at 40 or 50%. That's one of the huge logic flaws I think a lot of new investors have. When they don't understand that growth's already priced in, or it could be too much growth priced in.
Dude, I'm going to tell you the exact problem with Tesla. It's a cult. People's egos are caught up in it, and they're dependent on it working out for their portfolios. Because out of all the intrinsic value stocks I've done on my channel, only highly speculative growth meme stocks do I get people coming on my channel and calling me an idiot. That's it. If I tell people, I've had people come on my channel when I said, I think my Alibaba last time I calculated my buy point was like $181. So, or 170, high 70s, low 80s. So that means for me, I'm going to continue to buy till it hits that number, and then I'll recalculate. I've had people come on my channel and go, hey man, I disagree with you. I think that the buy point is only 150. Okay. Right. You might be right. I don't know.
I mean, a lot of the difference is just discount rate too. I mean, you might be using 12, I might be using 50,000. You don't know,
Yeah. And so the only people that come on my channel is when I do a Tesla video, and I know they're inexperienced because of the things that they say, but it's the only place where you have people butthurt that you don't want to buy their stock. Hey man, you should buy Tesla. I don't agree. You're an a-hole. You don't believe in the cause. If you don't believe in the cause, buy Tesla. We're never going to colonize Mars, and I'm never going to have my Elon Musk sex doll with a hydraulic ram penis to peg me while I'm driving my Tesla to Mars. All right?
Man, Jay just went all out there.
Oh, Jay, you got so much hate for that video. I'm sorry.
No,
the
thing is,
it's funny to read.
This is what people in the Tesla community don't get. I actually care. And if I didn't care, this is what I would do. I would simply write under your comment, you're right. That's all I would do.
Yeah.
Like, you're right. I'm an idiot. Then a couple of years from now, I would show back up on these comments and go, hey, homie, how's Warren Redlick's predictions working out for your portfolio, man? You checked on Cox down at the truck stop yet? Oh, you will be.
They don't get it, man.
No, they don't get it. They don't get that they're getting milked. They're getting milked.
So
they're getting the prostates milked by Warren Redlick stock blow. And so it's like, okay, it's the same thing happened when I went on my channel and I called Chris Sane a moron. People were like, you don't know what you're talking about. I go, no, I do. Chris Sane's a moron. Meat spin, same thing. I could go back and start hammering people who made comments like, hey, how's your portfolio doing after listening to Meat Spin for the past year?
But you run like how many scenarios? 4 or 5 in your video?
5 scenarios. But then I put in numbers, right? And they didn't understand this. Once the market cap got to 10 trillion, I just go, okay, I'm not interested in going any higher. If you believe, and I used the United States GDP growing at 4% per year to be generous. It's not going to grow at
that. That's
generous. Right? Tesla's market cap in 10 years came out to 1/3 of the GDP of the United States. I go, if that sounds right to you, then I don't know what to tell you. People were mocking.
That's right, because Neuralink.
Yeah, Neuralink.
T-Bot.
Neuralink.
I don't know why that's so funny, but it is.
Neuralink. But Chris Sane. I couldn't even, if I had lost the amount of money for my fan base that Chris Sane had, I would quit YouTube. I don't even know how this guy still has a Patreon. Or
dude, he's got 6,000 people paying him minimum $5 a month. Do you know how fast I would be gone?
Oh, I would be crushing VT when they were like, where are you putting your money? VT.
Well, I'd pump a bunch of garbage stocks and then I would just secretly just be maxing my tax advantage account.
Well, think about it like this. If any of us wanted to do that, Fabio, how many people do you think you could have talked into buying very good food company? Were you evil?
Wow.
How quickly do you
Dude,
think
I don't
your
even know
channel
how I'd
would
even argue
grow
something
if
like
you were
that.
doing that? Do you think your channel would grow faster than it's currently growing if you were doing that? You're going, well, the vegan market, let me pull it out. Even though the vegan market is expected to grow by like less than 10% a year, and I don't even think it's going to grow at that. But any of us could be going, Bio Nano, it's the future, bro. Let me just regurgitate a bunch of technical jargon. They're going to cure cancer with this. I don't even know how gene editing works, but I'm going to explain it to you.
Dude, if you don't have any morals, especially if you're educated in finance or accounting, you can totally manipulate people. Yeah. And you don't even need that. I mean, look at the vast majority of YouTubers. You have a gas station manager, you have a used car salesman, you have, I don't know what
politician,
you as a life coach. Yeah. I mean, like all these guys, they don't have any financial background.
There is one thing that's coming out soon. I think I have it scheduled for either today or tomorrow. I forget. Guys, don't hate on me. It's a little bit of the shadiness of the ETF market. But I say in the video that, the drawbacks are not outweighed by the benefits. But even then, it's a financial product. And there's one tiny bit of the shadiness and how they design it. I'll just say the definition. You guys can read up on it. It's called the harmonic average PE that they use to calculate and market them. And it sounds as idiotic as it sounds. Okay. It is as idiotic as it sounds. The math that goes into it, I go over it. And it's pretty interesting. So I think Yahoo has an like a presentation deck on their website from these firms that market their ETFs. And the S&P 500, they market the average P right now at like 20 point something. And I show how to get to that calculation using mathematical magic. And I showcase like how a logical person would do it and, do a weighted average PE. No. Screw that. That's not how we do things in the finance world. We'll do something else to make it look a lot lower. But
yeah, dude. Yeah.
Every part of the finance industry has like something, there's never.
The finance industry is full of scumbags.
Yes. That's what I'm trying to say.
That's what started this whole quest is like, I hate the finance industry. I mean, I was a financial advisor and I really learned how scummy it was for 2 months. And then after that, I was like, okay, I'm never, ever trusting any financial person ever again.
Oh, someone I think knows what it is right there. Oh my God, they're allowed to use the harmonic mean. Yeah, they are. That's how they do it.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, that's how they do it. This guy knows.
Are you like a math or statistician or something? What are you?
Yeah, dude. That dude's intelligent.
Dude, I watch Elemental.
Yes,
Jay will comment and reply something. And then they'll reply back to Jay, be like, you don't know what you're talking about. Then Elemental will just dunk on that guy again.
Yeah.
It's just so fun to read.
Yeah, dude. Elemental
is the shit, man.
I mean, it's kind of a no-brainer that the U.S. market is overvalued. I don't even care if it actually is a 20 PE. I mean, look at the market cap of the U.S. stock market versus the GDP of the United States. I mean, yeah, there's going to be reasons why there's differences, but it's like 60-something% of VT, and it's only 25% of the world's GDP. Like, holy crap.
Yes. So what you did is perfect. Your analysis of it actually subverts the industry's advertisement of it. So on a 20 PE, that doesn't sound that bad. But then when you realize they're using the harmonic average, but you're using another method that they can't really skirt away, which is basically versus the GDP. Or I think it's the one that Buffett always used, the Shiller's PE.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask. What is the Schiller PE right now? Isn't it still in the 30s?
Yeah.
Or did it come down?
It's up there. I don't know the exact number off the top of my head, but it's pretty high right now. But yes, harmonic average P is what they use to advertise them.
Harmonic.
Yes,
Harmonic.
no, it's literally
Well, dude, the fight, like, yeah. Why would I hate it? There's fuckery, for lack of a better word, in every aspect of finance.
Look at Fred, man. Great comment.
there it is. Shiller P is 69. Oh my.
Is it really?
I think that's a joke.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was gonna say, dude,
I think it's
I
40.
told that.
It's-
Wow.
yeah.
the chiller P is
Really trying.
69 down at the coal mines.
Getting a pickaxe shoved up your
69 PE, 420 cash flow.
ass. 420 times free cash flow is the best price to buy a company.
Yeah, Elemental is one of my fans who sometimes, man, I'll be doing a rant and I'll be talking about some concept and I have no idea that that's actually already a concept. And then Elemental will come in my comment section and explain it to me. He's like, oh, what you're talking about there is the Rawlsian theory. And I'm like, shit, this guy's smarter than me. I gotta listen.
Yeah, that's the beauty of being a boglehead. You don't have to be a genius.
Well, dude,
Yeah.
you said about the screwery. I've been at work with people explaining the TSP and different index funds to them and why they're like, well, I'll just put it in a targeted date fund. I don't want to learn.
Yeah.
And I go, okay, that's a good alternative if you just don't want to do this. But I've had people go, you should charge money for this. And I looked at a person and I go, I'm regurgitating crap that's on the Boglehead forum for free.
Yeah.
Why would you pay me? You can learn it in an hour.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this is actually a question for Chris and Jay. Well, since you guys both have a TSP, what's like the addition of VT for the TSP? Like, what's the translation?
You can't exactly nail it because they're not going to allow you to have stuff in like China and Russia. But all I've done, all I'm going to set mine up with right now is because I don't like the international fund in there. I'm just going to do 80 in the C fund and 20 in the S fund, and I'm just going to let it ride.
Okay.
I mean,
I'm not going to sit around endlessly jiggering the thing for what if I did in the best case scenario. The absolute best case scenario would be 0.5% return difference.
I mean, the only difference between VT and the so they're called the life cycle funds.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to be 100% stock, look at like the L2065 fund, and it's basically market cap weighted, and it has all the stocks in the world except for some of our rivals like China, Russia, and I think a few other countries. But it's basically VT minus the Vanguard Emerging Markets Index. That's basically
Okay.
it. So if you buy the L fund, you're going to get most of the world, at least market cap, but you're not going to have China. So if you want exposure to China or Russia, I mean, if you want, if you leave the military, you can roll your TSP over to your broker in your IRA, and then you can just buy VT in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fabio, I was meaning to ask you, since your family's from Venezuela, do you do any Latin American stock analysis, or you just?
I haven't yet because right now the channel only does what the viewers kind of submit, or if I'm investing it myself, but still I haven't covered all my investments yet. I had an investment, not anymore, but it's been a long time. Mercado Libre, but that's technically not Latin America. They do most of the business in Latin America, but
They're from Argentina, right?
Yeah, they're but I think now they're headquartered in New York, which is nice. But yes, originally they are from Argentina, and it was kind of like a interesting exposure play. Like if you're Latin American, you definitely know that company. That company's everywhere now.
Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah. And I think I mentioned it very briefly when I talk about Stone Co., which, that if you guys want to know, Kathy Woodstock right there, Stone Cold. Oh, and they quote Warren Buffett all the time because it's included in the Berkshire Hathaway, but I guarantee it was not him. It was either Todd or Ted, because Buffett would never buy such a company. And I don't know how much information I should say, but there are individuals within my circle that knows the founders. And yeah, I'm not going to go there, but
Oh, come on.
Come on, man.
Okay, well, this stays here. Not so
Okay.
not very good reputation. Let me just say that. And there's all these things about the structure that I kind of talk about, but I'll say here, like, for example, they're in the Cayman Islands. There's very little litigation. If anything were to happen, they're completely protected. There's nothing you can really do. You're buying an ADR. It's not even traded in Brazil. Like, you're not buying the stock from Brazil. You're buying the stock from the Cayman Islands. So there's that. And on top of that, you're basically buying a low quality version of Square. You know, it's basically like, oh, you missed out on Square, so you're buying the McDonald's version of Square. So, and people always say, oh, Kathy Wood's invested in it. It's done terribly. I think it's also down like 80-90%. And Mercado Libre does everything that company does and is way better, leagues better as a quality company. I'm not saying Mercado Libre right now is, by the way, a buy, by the way. Separate the stock from the company. The company's absolutely fantastic and killing it. It's just, I'm no longer invested in it for a reason. I thought it was getting quite overvalued. But yeah, if you bought Stone Co., since we're talking about Latin America, that one was not good. And then there's Vale, that Everything Money talked about. Did they invest in it? I don't want to say anything that's incorrect. Do you guys know?
Vale from Brazil?
Yeah, Vale from Brazil.
Yeah, I know that. I saw the video. He actually run through Bachoco.
Oh yeah, Bachoco. Yeah, that's the good one.
But if you ever make a video of any Latin American stuff, let me know, and so I can pump it up in my channel.
All right, I'll Bachoco, because that's a company I've known about and been looking at. It's actually on the list of companies I gotta go through.
Okay.
There's a great comment I think you should highlight.
Yeah, probably. He does that. While it's in self-driving mode. He's doing it while he's in self-driving mode.
Self-driving mode.
Right before it drives off the speedway.
Dude, I just looked, man. I hadn't looked at it in a while, man. I don't understand people's obsession with Square. It's really not growing cash flows.
No.
Its cash flows are all over the place. I mean, I would just look at this company with 100 PE and be out on it anyways, but I don't get everybody's I don't get the it's the future argument. I don't know. Is it the future?
It's the future argument for Square. It's like, oh, my barber charges me with Square. This company's going up.
It's weird because they're losing share to Clover, and Clover's owned by Fiserv. For those who may not know in the chat, Fiserv is like the legacy company. They're also not a buy right now, but they're far more reasonable than Square. And Square's was rising on the hype of the Cash App, right? But the thing is, that's such a quick that's like social media brand. I don't know. Like it's very easy for someone to create a new one that's better. For example, I think Facebook's, or now Meta, whatever, they're using WhatsApp and trying to make WhatsApp into the same thing. Robinhood is becoming the same exact thing. There's no barriers, right? At least with Clover versus the traditional Square thing, there's some barrier to entry. The store is the customer you got to win over, and you can make a portion of that profit. But Clover's kicking their butt at the present moment. I think they have 70% market share or something like that.
But that's the problem of no moat.
Yeah.
And why I look at certain companies, like even if Tattooed Chef was doing decent, it was growing and producing profits, I would still look at somebody and be like, yeah, I'm not going to buy a company in the frozen food industry. There's no moat to it. Like what? You have Tattooed Chef over here. What stops company X from just saying, like Tyson Foods, I don't know if they already do it, just going, oh, here's our vegan offering.
I think they are getting into that. I actually want to look into Tyson.
My wife
that's a company I'd rather invest in than tattoo taint.
Yeah, but I mean, I just use that as an example because it's just things I don't get about people's thought, about their logic. It's even Microsoft is one of the best companies in the world. It's an absolute cash machine.
Yeah.
But at this
It's
point,
amazing.
with what you're paying for it, the multiples you're paying for it, and the size of the company, this is what I would say to you. You think that there's not a better place for your money out there than Microsoft at the moment? Because like I said before, if Microsoft becomes irrationally undervalued again, I'm going to back up the truck on Microsoft. But I mean, it's like I just look at people and I go, why are you in such a rush to buy this individual stock?
Jay, the reality is that, as Paul stated in one of his videos, there are very few companies that actually changed the world, that were actually disruptive. Microsoft, Amazon, what else? Oh, I don't know.
Google.
Probably, yeah.
Google.
Yeah, but I don't think Tesla is going to be one. I don't know. Probably so.
I don't think it's disruptive. I think it's just another way to fuel a car. It's still a car.
Yeah.
You're not changing our freaking lives massively. Creating a car from nothing, going from horses to cars, that's disruption.
Yeah.
Looking at
Ford was one of the most disruptive companies that ever came about.
Yep.
They basically invented the assembly line. Not that that's really an invention. It's just, hey man, specialize in this task, put this to get one thing together all day. Okay. But yeah, like you said, going from horse and buggy to your Ford car that you were driving around, that piece of crap, that was one of the most disruptive occurrences in the history of the world. The invention of the computer. It's like Microsoft, like you said, changed the world.
I want to.
How is Tesla changing the world? This is what I would say to anybody. And maybe you can answer, maybe I just don't know, but explain to me. Well, everybody's going to drive EVs. No, they're not.
We don't know.
Africa, we'll get more growth from Africa and India. Africa and India aren't even completely electrified yet. There's a great deal of the world that does not have a reliable power grid.
Yeah.
Let alone the industrial pollution that people are going to find out that EVs make from A, digging up cobalt and lithium, and B, the batteries. The batteries are going to be an industrial hazard. What do you do with them? Especially if everybody started using them. It's actually going to be, if everybody was driving electric vehicles, those batteries would be worse for the environment, maybe, probably, than what we're currently doing. So what's really the trade-off?
Sexy cars.
Your Elon Musk sex style that comes with your Tesla.
But Elon is the new Leonardo da Vinci, man. Yeah, right.
Yeah, I got a lot of questions. Like, why isn't your Cybertruck out when you told me I'd have it in 2019? Where is the Tesla Semi? You said that would also be out in 2018.
Yeah, that's true. One quick correction for a simple man. The Clover was not the Clover you're talking about. That's Clover Healthcare or whatever. That's an insurance crap company. The one I was mentioning is the payment system. It's owned by Fiserv. It's not publicly traded individually. It was owned by First Data. Fiserv acquired it. So no, it's not that one. That one's completely different. Similar.
Yeah,
name.
I remember doing a video on that stock back in the day. It was not pretty.
Yeah. So yeah, don't think I would ever mention stuff like that in a good light. Yeah, no worries.
Dude, yeah. This guy, I'm sorry, I can't. I'm going to call you Ram. People don't understand that lithium is in shortage and it will be so expensive and difficult in just the next years. Yeah. I mean, we didn't capitalize on Afghanistan that has like $5 trillion worth of the stuff.
Yeah, I'm so glad I spent 9 months of my life there. Really, really made a difference.
That's how I feel about my 8 months in Iraq. I'm so glad I did that. We really changed lives and won hearts over there.
That was true disruption, ladies and gentlemen.
That was true disruption. Yeah. One thing you can always play is always the picks and shovels play. And I'm not saying it's a buy now, but one investment I've had for the lithium play, kind of picks and shovels, is Albemarle, ALB. It's on the head choppers block right now for my portfolio, so it's like I'm deciding whether or not to take profits or not. But the lesson to be learned is, even if there's something crazy disruptive, always try to think of what's the picks and shovels. So you don't have to pick the winner if you're getting the guy that's supplying to all the quote unquote winners. All right. So all the companies that are coming out with electric cars, they all need lithium batteries, right? Until hydrogen comes around. But even then, or if we master or stabilize the sodium ion batteries, but
look, Elon will find a way. Just believe in him, okay?
Yeah.
Let's not get concerned about these problems.
Let's not get concerned. Just buy Tesla and just go away.
Fabio, then again, why don't you buy the Lit ETF? It's easier.
It is. It's just you. So like, yes, if you don't know which one of the lithium providers is going to be good, and you don't have the time to look into each one, then yes, that's another reason why ETFs are a good tool. If you want to speculate on a specific sector, you're going to pay up for that, of course, because they're always more expensive.
The expense ratio is very high.
Yeah, but it's a good way to say, I really think X thing is going to do great. I don't know which one's going to do great, but I know the whole sector is going to do great. So boom, there you go.
I had it and I sold it for a very big profit, and I put it all on in BT. So
yeah, there you go. VT is really good, I think, long term, for especially if you just think about it, capital preservation, which is far more important than gains. Capital preservation in real value terms, outside of inflation. Because I think in the way long past, way before I was born, people could save money and they could just retire off of their savings because the value of their money would have been relatively the same. And now you can't expect to do that in whatever currency.
Well, it was interest rates. I mean, if you look at historically, and I mean, there were times when the interest rates weren't as high, but people had that cash sitting in the bank. I mean, if you look at it, even if you're earning 4% on your money in cash, just sitting there, that's a great margin of safety to just sit there. You're not really risking anything. But now, I mean, I leave my money in my bank account, and what are you paying me?
Yeah,
nothing.
0.25% on my money.
They used to be insane. Interest rates used to be insanely high, like 14, 15, 16%. Like imagine
locking in 30-year bonds at 14% interest.
Dude, I would just retire right now. I'd just chunk everything I have into a savings account and just live off the interest.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
in the 80s, yeah.
Yeah, that is that. Well, elemental too. Think about like the problem we ran into for printing money for going into the space race, and then Vietnam, and then it started messing with everything. And then Nixon was like, "The dollar's no longer." I don't know why he sounds like Alex Jones, but the dollar's no longer backed by gold. The rest of the world, can we have our gold back? Nah, we're keeping that, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, but even with a gold-backed currency, I mean, like you read about World War I, they still printed money, to finance the war, even if it was backed by gold. And then, they still diluted their currency. Like it was inevitable we were going to go to fiat, I think.
Well, they did that. We also did that during the Civil War.
Yeah.
It's always
whatever they need to. It doesn't freaking matter. It's like, we need to go back to the gold standard. Governments will do it anyway. They don't give a crap.
The only thing I like about a standard, pegging it to whatever you want, bottle caps or gold, is that it does keep politicians a little bit more honest. There's a little bit. It's just a little bit. So, but I mean, I can't control things. If I could control things, I'd go to the Fed and be like, raise the interest rate to 5% right now. And when they were like, do you understand what that'll do to the economy? I would be like, yes, I have to buy Microsoft stock.
We need to destroy the economy, but I get to buy Microsoft cheap.
Yeah. That if you believe, for example, we're going to be in a rising rate environment, this is also like an asset class I would entirely avoid is REITs. Because REITs have been the best performing asset class since the 80s. So for some people, that's their entire adult life. And, you know, you bought the VNQ, you outperformed pretty much every other index fund. But going forward, you got to understand the backdrop of that is we were in the high rate environment in the 80s, and we went from high rates to the opposite, completely low rates. So with lowering rates, you basically lowering the cost of capital to acquire real estate, and then cap rates go down, so their book values go up. It's basically a flywheel effect that occurs. So of course they're going to be the best. But going forward, if you think that we can't go any lower from now, they're a very dangerous asset class, even though they don't look like it. If you guys put them through your models, I'm curious to see what it would come out. You know, pick whatever REIT. For me, and you got to calculate it differently. You got to use either AFFO or FFO, not regular stuff.
You got some comments, Chris.
I use price.
Comments calling us incels. Y'all stay using Jeremy and Kevin.
Oh, should I bring in my wife?
Elemental to Mother's about to lay the smackdown on these idiots.
I have 2 kids. I'm an incel. Yeah.
My wife.
That makes excellent sense.
Make an appearance.
So this comment's actually true. So as a matter of fact, yes, I put Jeremy and Kevin in most of my video titles because it gets me more views. 100% I do that. Okay. Everybody on YouTube does that. They talk about, because what Kevin and Jeremy do is they talk about hype stocks. They specifically put hype stocks titles in their video titles so they can attract viewership. That's how it freaking works on YouTube. Okay. And yeah, the more I get to talk trash because I enjoy it, the more I get to spread my philosophy, which is my ultimate goal.
Yeah.
You're a hater, bro. Yeah. Yeah, I am.
You're a hater.
Chris, but at the end, it's education, man. You're trying to educate people in your style. That's it.
That's the goal. And make a little bit of ad revenue, too.
Dude,
yeah. And have fun.
Kurt wants a portfolio reveal from us. Oh, no.
Wait, what?
This Kurt guy wants a portfolio reveal. I can tell you my portfolio right now. It's very simple.
You gonna whip out your schlong?
I will right now. Yeah.
I mean, like I've done my portfolio.
Here's my
like
portfolio.
you don't have any money, bro. You don't show your portfolio. It's like I've done it multiple times. Okay, I'm not gonna do it every freaking video.
Here's my portfolio. Jay already knows I have 175 shares of public stock, which is a private company, and then in my tax advantaged accounts, I have 80% VT, and then I have 5% Microsoft, 5% Apple, and then 10% VTI. There you go. There's my portfolio. You gonna hate me, bro?
You're lying, dude. That's boring.
The stock ran.
Haters gonna hate and hoes gonna be hoes. And truck stop Jeremy's gonna be at the truck stop. You got that right, balls deep.
Truck stop Jeremy.
Dude, this moron doesn't even realize that like Jeremy is pushing him towards a situation where he's gonna regret it.
Yeah. Look, you guys think his stocks are going to reverse? They could keep going down and down and down and down because there's no floor, except for the, like Fabio said, tangible book value maybe, but they could go down, 50, 60, 70% more. Who freaking knows? There's no bottom because there's no positive cash flows.
I'm going to ruin everyone's parade. There's still a problem with tangible book value because tangible book value sometimes takes into account asset level, I think it's, asset valuation level 2 and 3, which is highly speculative at the level 3. So, because we're just removing, the intangible stuff, But who's to say? For example, hypothetically, Apple goes bankrupt somehow. I know, crazy, and they're valuing the inventory of all their iPhones from last year at the retail value. Well, that's not real. We know that's not real. They're gonna have to adjust that when they go to sell off their inventory. Are they going to get $1,000 for the iPhone 12? Not really. Just as an example, very basic, but yeah, even tangible book value may not be the bottom. That's when you go into like the cigarette butt investing, and you gotta be Buffett. You have to be Buffett. Like you gotta go in there.
Well, that's one of the biggest things that people. I talked about this on the last one, where people will go, well, Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger, they have like 20% of their portfolio and stuff. And I go, cool. You're not Warren Buffett or Charlie Munger. Like, have a realistic assessment of your abilities. Like, I will be perfectly honest with you. I go back and forth on stocks in my head. Like, is this right? Am I seeing this right? Okay. Yeah. Like, because a stock can do whatever it wants to do. It could run up or it could go down, but that doesn't mean that's where its intrinsic value is. So it's, I don't, whatever. I mean, I don't get why Balls Deep is even here. If he's saying, well, I don't listen to Jeremy, then why are you defending him?
Dude, he's got a Wall Street Bets profile picture. I mean, he's not going to be a fan of our investing philosophy.
No, I don't know. Maybe he learned his lesson and he went to index funds. But I don't even understand people's aversions to index fund. Well, they're fine if you want average gains. Okay, index funds don't produce average gains.
Oh yeah,
it's an extreme
time, especially when that index fund has every company in the world.
It's also an extremely arrogant statement to say, I can outperform the market. Oh, you can? Because 95% of professionals can't do it over a long timeline. And I don't even, somebody like Warren Buffett, he could probably consistently do it right over again. But, I mean, how many people have the time to sit around actually doing, I hate the terms now because they're so polluted, a deep dive into a company? How many people have the time for that right now?
Yeah, instead of doing my tax work, I just research stocks like Tattooed Chef and Honest all day.
Oh, Honest.
Yeah,
Chris.
I look up articles that say how good it is and ignore the bad ones.
The grind this game.
Danny.
They are, but like the point is, for the boglehead strategies, you average in over time, regardless of overvalued points, undervalued points. That's the whole point. I mean, you're not wrong that it has them in them, but it also has the undervalued ones. And
you're also not I don't know, maybe you do. All I'm going to say is maybe this isn't the best choice of words, but what you're also not factoring in is the fact that the average person, most people, have a 401k that's tax advantaged. And it makes sense to put most of your money in there. And a lot of people, the only thing they can buy in their 401k, like myself, is index funds. So where do you think is a more judicious use of my money? In index funds in a tax advantaged account, or running the numbers on stocks on the weekend and buying stocks in a brokerage account? Which one of those two do you think is a better choice? It's an imperfect world and you don't have perfect choices.
And plus, like Fabio said, when you're averaging in over time, you basically pay the fair value, or you get the fair value, or you buy it at roughly its intrinsic value, because stocks fluctuate up and down. But as you're averaging in, you're going to, hopefully catch all the stocks that you're buying at their intrinsic values over time. So yeah, I mean, if you go low into an index fund at one time, sure, you could lose all your money or a lot of it. But if you average in, that's the difference. That's where you actually get, a better deal.
Besides, most people don't have the time to analyze all these stocks, man. So if you are not financially independent, or you have a job, a 9-to-5 job, then what's the best thing to do? Well, go into index funds.
Yeah, I can tell you.
I see that like
season,
that.
Yeah, like when tax season really picks up, gets really crazy.
Yeah.
There's not gonna be many strongman stock videos coming out. I'll tell you that.
And I gotta do contracts and all this legal stuff for companies. So yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's a good point. You don't have freaking time.
Yeah.
I mean, like Fabio, I think he does this full time. So
Yeah, for me, it's my job. So.
Fabio, you're a financial advisor, right? Full time.
No.
What
He
is
would
it?
not be on this channel if he was a financial advisor.
Yeah, no. I work independently, privately. Oh, you want to come in? Oh no, if you want to show, because I'm an incel. Just pop in, just say hi, and then just wave, and then you can go.
Hater, she's fake.
Hi.
Hey, chill.
No, you don't. Well, you can if you want.
How much should he pay you?
She's nervous, but
Balls deep claimed you were an incel.
Show me.
You incel.
She's Brazilian. She's from Rio de Janeiro. So they say porta for those of you who know Portuguese instead of porta.
Brazilian chill.
Yeah.
I'm a Brazilian. Dominance was established.
Cheeks were clapped.
Dude, this is the question I have for you guys, though, because a viewer pointed this out. Are you guys going to take back all the stuff you talked about Jeremy when he's a billionaire?
Never.
I'm more subtle. I'm more subtle about it, but I'm contemplating every day because it's getting worse and worse, being a little bit more overt with my sentiment towards him.
I mean, well, are you worried about, like him, pressing charges, or you just want to keep your channel like stock focused, or?
Because my kind of strategy so we can have like different strategies on converting, because I guess at the end of the day, our strategies are pretty much the same, trying to help convert people away from that kind of stuff. Because, monetarily speaking, this is passion project. And it was actually because some of those in my inner circle, close friends, started following this, I'll just say it, loser. And they started, one of them, being Austin, by the way. He's a close friend of mine for quite a long time. And he was in his beginning of his investing journey, got caught up in the Lafufu train. And yeah, exactly. And I thought it was prudent that I go about it a little bit kind of like diplomatically. So I have a couple that in the beginning of the channel did criticize me for my thoughts on Tattooed Chef, but I actually converted them through just basically saying, yeah, you can have your opinion, very diplomatic, and then just kind of like keep it going, and then kind of open it up to them, and then they kind of just see the light. And then that's the goal, to convert as many of them as possible out of that, because long term that's going to be good for them,
Yeah, but my style is not conducive to very fast channel growth. I'll tell you that. Hold on a minute.
Oh, Fubo. Yeah.
Thank you for your generous donation.
Thanks, man.
Hello, gang. I hope you guys are doing well. I'm down a nice 40% on Fubo. Who pushed Fubo? Hopefully this
Meet
direction
Kevin.
ends soon. Meet Breath, of course he did.
Kevin.
Meat bread. Oh.
That's why I started doing discounted cash flows, man. Because and I tell you on my channel, just because I tell you that I would possibly buy this after I set a point, doesn't mean I'm right. Like, I just did it to help you quickly eliminate stocks, because there's 10,000 stocks in the world. This is what people don't understand. Even if you run all the numbers, you're still going to get it wrong on stocks. At the end of the day, that's why I hate all these guys going, it's going to 10x from here. Maybe. But what are you basing this on?
Well, I mean, it could be just for clickbait too. I mean,
that's what a lot of it is.
Yeah, but people accuse me of hype chasing. It's like, what do you think these clowns are doing with these stocks? 10x. It's the future, bro. They're doing the exact same thing.
People accusing us of clout chasing, and I want to go, okay, yeah. So Chris and I, when we decided to do this, what we decided to do was go against the grain and tell you that these popular meme stocks are hot garbage and you're going to lose money. because we thought that was the quickest way. Because we talked about it earlier. I could have easily just started my channel, invested in Total World Index Fund, and said, oh, I'm buying Tattooed Chef for the views. And that would have been the easier way. Tesla to 97x from here to $40 quadrillion. I could have done all that, but I decided to go, yeah, Tesla's overvalued, knowing that the cult of Elon would attack me endlessly in the comment section with crap that I know none of them would say to my face.
Dude,
The cult of
I
Elon.
forgot about
you can use that super chat to buy 10 shares of very good food company. There you go.
I mean, it can't go in
future,
bro.
bro.
Might as well buy the dip now. You know?
Hey, Ram, what happened to that dude? I tried to look him up and I couldn't find him. What happened to the dude that did this? Workhorse. From here.
Well, is his channel down? I mean, I know he stopped putting up videos a long time ago, but he made a freaking fortune, I think, because he had a pretty sizable Patreon and he pumped garbage like Cardano and a bunch of Kathy Wood stocks, basically. But he stopped posting a long time ago. Let me see if he's actually still on.
Grind this game is technically correct with that. If the United States dollar hyperinflates, Tesla might be a $40 quadrillion company.
Yeah, George Perez's channel is like basically dead. Like even he has 122,000 subscribers. He only has like 2K views in the last 30 days. Like his channel's like gone. He doesn't do anything.
Bro, watch him come back, just steroided up and just yoked. And that's really what he's doing. So he just flexes. He just flexes on camera. Workhorse is going to 20x from here.
Dude, I would apologize. I'm so sorry I made fun of you, man. You're actually a cool guy.
The internet is not too good down at the docks, so he can't upload.
My pain is eased knowing Lafufu and Meat Press are down millions. See, they're down millions. With enough clowns paying them, they're gonna be fine. It's all their fans that got screwed, but they'll find a new flood of fans to come in and replace them.
Yeah, their money comes from Patreon and other stuff, right? Not from stocks.
Yeah, courses,
and
Patreon, ad revenue. I mean, ad revenue. If you get that big, you can make $1 million in a year from ad revenue.
Whoa.
Yeah. I mean, YouTube's a good gig if you can make it. And the guys that I don't know how they do it, but when they do it, they wanted to keep going because you get on here and shard out videos and talk about a bunch of trash stocks. You get paid $1 million a year. Holy crap.
But it depends on what you want, man.
Game's question. I own 3 stocks. 3 stocks.
Of which company?
Okay, I own Apple, Microsoft, and then a private company that's a grocery store called Publix. It's pretty dominant in the Southeast region. Those are the only 3 stocks I own. Everything else is in VT.
VTizzy.
And Baba.
VT.
And Baba?
Yeah.
Well, to answer that question that came up, I pick stocks, but I'm not opposed to index funds. I even say most people who don't have time should dedicate to index funds. But if you want to invest in some stocks, yeah, you can, but you have to be honest with yourself. It's very key. You have to be honest with yourself. And the only one you're going to hurt if you're not honest with yourself is yourself, no one else. What is your time ability to dedicate to something like that? And if you're good or not, you have to really be honest with yourself.
Be
if you
honest.
Underperform, that's all on you.
Well, you're right though, man. A lot of people that I see, I'm like, dude, I think you're overestimating your ability.
Yeah.
I think what happened is you made a bunch of speculative bets, not you personally, but I'm just saying people that are commenting. You made a bunch of speculative bets during the largest bull market in history with one of the most overvalued stock markets in history, and you're getting confirmation bias instead of being honest with yourself and going, I don't have a crystal ball. I can't predict what's going to happen in the future. So I can only invest on my margin of safety. And this is what people also don't get about intrinsic value. Everybody's margin of safety is different. I like what you said, and this is what I go with in my life. The best way to make money in the stock market is Warren Buffett's #1 and #2 rule. Don't lose money. #1. #2, see rule 1.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was like, well, good luck getting rich, 40 years from now with your stupid total world market. Okay, talk to me then.
I mean, I've only been buying VT for 10 years. I'm doing pretty good, and I got 30, 40 more years of compound growth, and I'm going to grow with the world economy. Like, I'm going to be just fine, and everybody can be too. You have to make sacrifices, though. You have to live a little bit below your means so you can actually save money and do it consistently, okay? Nobody wants to freaking hear that.
And this is the thing that they don't get about Chris or any of us. When we say Tesla's overvalued, we're not rooting against the company. I'm just telling you an objective fact that there is a possible world where a lot of crazy assumptions work out, but it's not really feasible. At these prices, you have all but eliminated any margin of safety, and the price is priced beyond perfection. Every single thing that when you're saying paying $1,000 for Tesla today, you're saying everything is going to work out perfectly in the future. I just go back to, we live in an imperfect world. What if, and this is what none of them think about, what if something happens to Elon Musk?
Yeah.
Nobody expected him to die in a helicopter crash, but he did.
Yeah.
And then, so what happens to Tesla without Elon? It crumbles.
Yeah.
And a lot of them don't even know basic facts about Tesla. They're like, Elon founded Tesla. No, he didn't. Elon founded PayPal. No, he didn't.
Yeah. That's true. I mean, one thing that I'll say, this is kind of a side note, at work right now, we're pretty much exiting we have been exiting United States for quite a bit now in the later half of 2021. So even our United States portfolio is actually a lot of cash. I mean, we could be absolutely wrong, but that was like the decision. And we deployed a little bit internationally, but little caution right now. I mean, we have been proposing a little bit of caution right now, but yeah.
I mean, for what you're doing, you have time on your side. You can just wait.
Yeah.
Yeah. But for like me or any of the other guys, it's like the U.S. market's overvalued. Okay, I know, but I got to max my tax advantage accounts every month. What do you want me to do?
Yeah. Well, and it's also because the nature of the business, it has a core business and that continues to generate profits. And then the account, the excess cash account basically continues to grow and we get more firepower each month. So we're in no rush per se. But
have you proposed to your boss to just buy VT?
Well, yes, to some extent. Yeah. Or like at the very least, because there's some difficulties with it. So we thought about just like mimicking it, dedicating like a full time, just mimicking it to some degree. But for the most part, not really. So like we've been buying some private real estate here and there in the vicinity of the business. So for example, we closed on the warehouse at the main warehouse in 2019. And then we bought the neighboring warehouse in 2020. And then 2021 prices got too crazy in our area for industrial properties. And then we looked elsewhere and I think, Nathan, you're from Tampa, right?
That's correct. Me and Jay both.
So we were looking in Tampa.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were looking in Tampa as well. Okay.
I didn't know.
But
Neuralink? All right, go.
Neuralink.
And then the rest is just going in Tesla. I'm trying to get that.
I mean, whatever you got to do.
Yeah. I just push it every week, but they just don't want to listen to me.
Honestly, if I was a market timer, I would probably only have the U.S. at 25% of my portfolio GDP weight, and then I'd be looking else internationally. But I don't trust myself to do that. But that would heavily consider 25% U.S. and then 75 everything else.
Yeah. I mean,
US
we might get some deals here.
It just astounds me how much of the world's market cap they have. Like, even makes me doubt like VT sometimes. It's like, yeah, this is freaking crazy. But then I know, if I average over time, even if the US market implodes, okay, well, I got 30 more years of buying. I'll probably get the US and nice sweet deal over the next couple of years.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's the strategy. That's what you're supposed to.
Yeah. I mean, it's also, I still go back to, everybody thinks it's all but guaranteed the Fed's going to raise rates. I'm not even sure about that, man. Like I said, we don't have a crystal ball because they're like, yeah, we're going to raise it. Yeah. 0.25%. Markets start tumbling.
Yeah. I think they're going to get 1, maybe 2 in, but I'm not going to die on that hill, but that's what my personal opinion is right now.
Fabio, I wanted to ask you, what do you think about inflation? Is it transitory? I can't decide whether it's transitory or not. I see both arguments and I sit around because the interest rate hikes they're proposing, if inflation still is running hot, are not enough to tame inflation.
Okay, so there are many different schools. So like the thing with macroeconomics is that it's such a multi-layered cake. And in order to kind of get a good grasp, there's so many different things we kind of have to tackle. But to try to simplify the answer, it entirely depends on what avenue of inflation you think there's going to be. So what I mean by that is you got the Federal Reserve with the federal funds rate. They got their shebang, right? We need to know where the money creation actually happens, which is in the commercial banking system. And then if you isolate QE, the thing is everyone tries to argue everything in one bucket, but you have to argue them in isolation. So QE is not inflationary. It's actually a big misconception about what QE is. It's like if in an accounting topic, I can explain to an accountant pretty much easier than someone who doesn't have an accounting background or a finance background. But when I try to explain to people, it's just simply a switch that occurs on the books, and there's no real money being actually created. And the U.S. government can't actually print money; it borrows money. So then those things we have to like settle on, and then you understand that could change in the future. And if it ever does, you will have hyperinflation of what you were describing. But there's other forms in which inflation can manifest. So if debt levels, for example, rise in the private sector, that's what they want to do. They want to spur lending growth. That's the idea of lowering rates. The idea to lower rates is to spur private lending growth and spur inflation. But in isolation from that, you see how I keep using the word isolation? You got to separate everything. Fiscal policy can be very inflationary. So, even though the QE per se in isolation is not inflationary, that doesn't mean that fiscal policy can't be inflationary. It can very much be inflationary. And when we think about that, it then comes down to the question is, will fiscal policy in the future continue to be as sporadic or as, spendy, right? And then if we don't point to the fiscal policy as the true inflation result, and we say QE is what caused it, we might actually misdiagnose the problem. And that's actually really bad. That's really, really bad. So
the bottom line is nobody freaking knows what's going to happen. I mean, you could have your good guess and do a bunch of analysis, but I mean, inflation probably suits the interests of the government best because there is so much debt. But
yes,
then again, voters get pissed when there's inflation. So you just don't know. I mean, it's so
because normally it's just a little tax running in the background that you don't really notice until it starts ticking up on you.
Yeah.
Honestly, in my personal opinion, I'm actually kind of, I think there's going to be low inflation going long term because I might get in trouble for saying this, but I think we have gotten better, in economics to the point where we have better theories where we can actually control the rate of inflation better than we used to. It's been kind of like a learning process. I mean, you look over the last 20 or 30 years, inflation's been pretty steady. I mean, I think we might have a temporary spike in inflation, but I think long run, especially with like a, slow growing population, I don't know. I think it's not going to be that high long run, but I could be totally freaking wrong. I'm not an economist,
Yeah, I think it would depend also on like the global demand for dollars, because actually a lot of this is dependent on that. As long as we are global reserve currency, I would say this, I'm very confident that if the US lost the global reserve currency status, then you would start to experience, for example, lack of supplies on the shelves in the United States.
I think I agree with you. I think basically what's saving the dollar right now is just the reserve currency status.
I don't think we're going to lose that for a long time because nobody wants Chinese currency.
Yeah,
hell no.
I agree with you, but I always say there's just a point where stuff works till it doesn't.
Yes.
And and nobody knows where that point is. It's impossible to predict. But yeah, a lot of the doomsayers like Peter Schiff, as much as I do enjoy just listening to him rant, I'm like, come on, bro. You're a little bit of a doomsayer. Like you're a little bit of the most pessimistic thing that can happen. And yes, that is a possibility. But again,
Chris,
what's the odds?
Nate.
Thing that somebody wants me to say to you. Where was it? It was a comment from Rand, 35 p.m. It's about Stock Mo.
What did he say? Stink blow?
He said, did you see one of the people said that Stock Mo had a copy of The Intelligent Investor? And that's what he told me to tell you.
Did it look like it was
He
open?
had it like right where
Did he read it? Actually,
is it still in like the plastic wrapping?
Definitely no.
Paper?
Julius Caesar, I agree with you on Peter Schill. I just like listening to him. I don't know why. He cracks me up, man.
I got tired of him. Once I saw how his stupid
his funds in Euro Pacific Capital are the worst, biggest ripoff in the world.
Hey, I need to do another video on Peter Schiff, man. And then his pumping of gold. It's like, shut up, dude.
Yeah, it's like
to put your money.
Well, there is certain. No matter how, there's certain things that no matter what, Nate'll agree with this. There's always that crappy comic that comes up with a brilliant joke, and you're sitting there going, this dude's awful. How did I not think of that? It's like Peter Schiff on most of the stuff he says is stupid and wrong, but occasionally one of the where I love listening to him rant about is Bitcoin. I don't know why, man. It's just a guilty pleasure I have listening to his podcast.
I mean, he is a very intelligent guy, and I don't even know if he truly believes in gold. I don't think he's trying to sell it.
It's for his fun. I think he half believes a lot of the stuff, but he knows he can talk over the average person's head, and so he does.
Johnny Rock, bro. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, it's like, gold does have some value. You use it in industry, but it would go back to, I would rather own the picks and shovel.
This bag of sunflower seeds has some value.
Yeah. But, it's not, my point is cryptocurrency has no value. I just did a video on Crypto Island.
I've heard, what is that? I've heard about
it. Yeah, what is that?
He shared the link with me, and I just sat there going through the whole thing. What is this? Because I did a video. Yeah, because I did a video on Gregor McGregor. And he goes, yep, the cycle just repeats. And then I'm watching this. I'm like sitting there the whole time. Is this stupid 3D animation supposed to get me to go to Fiji? And it's Crypto Island.
Yeah. What, did a bunch of people actually buy an island or something? Or is it all digital?
It fell through.
Oh, kind of like the island. Remember that?
Chris, you should do a review of the video too, because you're sitting there listening to these people talk. They're like, and we needed to design this island. And it's just such generic, I'm doing something on a computer, where I'm going, this is me through the whole video. What is this? Somebody explain this to me.
Crypto is just like, you got to be a total clown to buy into that stuff, man. Like, I don't know who they're trying. They try to appeal to the most financially illiterate, poorest people, because those are the kind of people that are going to get deceived by crap like that. Because if you have any kind of financial education, I mean, sure, you can make money in crypto, but it's so stupid. And it's just obvious to most people at least know what they're doing.
Well, it's like anything. This is what I've said to people at work too when they've asked me about crypto. I go, okay, you don't know anything about crypto, so you should stay away from it. But there's money to be made in crypto. If you really just understand this is speculative BS and that you're gambling, much like if you really know the UFC, you can gamble on fights, but just understand that's what you're doing. You're gambling. It's like you can make money playing poker. So, I mean, if you really understand it, I'm not going to waste any time on some stupid piece of crap that somebody can't answer the questions like, well, it's deflationary. Well, then why would I use it as a currency? It's a store of value.
Yeah, Balls Deep just left a comment. He just left a comment saying, what is our big problem with crypto? I guess we can go down the line and kind of talk about this. I mean, Jay, you pretty much just talked about why you don't like crypto.
Yeah.
Oh, no, before we do that,
it's
you know
just
why you like crypto? It's because it goes up. That's why you like it.
I made a video on it, so pre-explaining myself.
I want to hear Fabio tear crypto apart for a second.
Yeah, Fabio, go ahead.
I like it, guys. What are you talking about?
Well, I mean, no, I have 100% of my portfolio in crypto. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, no. No, like I said, like the grand majority of any form of cryptocurrency is going to go to zero, if not 100% of it. The only ones that would ever have a stand a chance longer term is any what I call closed system. But there's maybe one that I know of that is somewhat of a closed system. And even then, it's still highly speculative because the greater population as a whole has to choose it and utilize it. So yes, it's just a gamble. And the reason why it's just a gamble is because you can't call it an asset because it produces no value. You can only sell it to the next guy for a higher price. And then the only thing you can then call it is, something that like a store value, okay, or a currency. And in which case you got to examine, is that the thing that you are going to transact in? Do you demand that for a transaction? And if you ask yourself, what is the worth of this thing? And if the answer to your question in your head is the currency of your home country, then you don't really demand that cryptocurrency at the end of the day. You want your home currency. So you're just looking at it as a speculation. And that's how you can walk yourself through kind of like a logic game.
Yeah,
and realize for yourself.
Millionaire. Yeah, he's like, I'm a millionaire in US dollars. He's not a millionaire I guess he is a millionaire with Dogecoins, but if you truly believed in the cryptocurrency, you would think in terms of your wealth being in the cryptocurrency.
Exactly.
But it's not. They express it in freaking dollars or whatever currency their degenerate country they come from.
Degenerate country. Is he from California?
The best
I
thing
only
that's
own one cryptocurrency.
truck stop
The truck stop token.
No, it's a cum rocket. You guys heard of cum rocket?
No. What
it's
the
now
hell?
Very plausible and sustainable.
What?
Rub one out and then onto a rocket, and it just shoots up like the coin shoots up.
I'm gonna go take a piss, and then we're gonna go down.
What I was gonna say is the best another great indication of how speculative this market is these idiots buying digital real estate.
Earth 2, man. You don't want to buy a country?
It's like, hey,
it's the future, man.
Hey, man,
real estate.
I just paid for this house in the metaverse with real cash.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll do that too one day. No, I won't. Yeah, no, I won't.
Yeah.
And-
One thing I wanted to say that I saw this comment. I think it was in my head. Kurt said it about Tesla in China. I'll just say this one comment that Tesla going into China the way it did actually for me was a very long-term bearish signal for the company. I did not like that the way they did it. And there's a creator.
Elaborate.
So the way they entered into China, it's basically a classic thing that China does, where we call it elite capture. You probably know what that is. Yeah. So they elite captured Elon Musk. They coaxed him in, and basically by setting up his production there, they're 100 trillion, quadrillion % going to be stealing his technology. Then they're going to turn against him. I think the YouTuber who makes like little mini docuseries, Jake Tran, did a good take on it when I saw it, because he actually expressed a lot of the concerns I had. And it's how the Chinese government started turning against Tesla. And you can see he goes over like event by event by event, and how the Chinese government almost like mobilized completely against Tesla as soon as they got what they wanted from Tesla. And it's like, if you were in 2018, you're thinking about this kind of really short-term minded, saying they're going into China. This is amazing for the business. Look, the Chinese government is giving them all this money to set up shop. You don't understand the ulterior motive behind that. So for China, it's just, whatever the amount of the factory is, that's nothing versus the ability to basically steal everything that Tesla has and then reverse engineer it and then dominate globally, which is what they will and are going to attempt to do. So
that's what their stated goal is.
Yeah.
It's not a secret. It's not a secret. It's not even an open secret. Their stated goal is to steal technology to become the world's biggest player. This is what I don't get about people in business who still think that going into China, if you're a tech firm, look, if you're selling FUBU gear or whatever that is, who cares? That's all made by Uyghur slaves anyways. But
I don't know why that's funny, but whatever.
Well, what I'm saying is, how are you with? So the main selling point to me on Tesla that a lot of people like, or not the main, one of the big ones, is you don't understand the technology. Okay, maybe we can have that debate, but what I'm going to tell you is, going into China, everything that Elon Musk produces, if you're saying they have this radical new technology, will be the old stupid saying, all your bases belong to us now, because that's the way it's going to be. Everything that you develop, Neuralink, they're going to copy and steal that too. So I don't understand how these people at the top think that it's a great value proposition to go into China. If I ran a business, people could call me crazy, but they're like, hey man, are you going to expand into China? I'd be like, China can go fuck itself.
Yeah.
I got proprietary technology that if they're going to steal it, they're going to steal it on the open market. I'm not giving it to them.
Do you know
China,
that
you seeing this right now?
Oh,
you're banned in China. You're banned.
We have 70 viewers. That's like the whole population.
I've been banned for a while.
Nate, are you getting your Neuralink chip installed?
Oh, dude, I already have it. It's instead of my head though, it's in my ass because I'm a bottom. I
was about to say, you specifically requested the anal route. But Nathan, you can eat it. No, I want it in my ass.
Yeah, dude. They're like, oh, it usually goes in your hand or your skull. I'm like, please put it in my ass.
Man, how is it possible that this is a business venture if you need to go through a lot of hurdles in order to install chips in people's brains, sanitary, regulatory? Do these people actually think about that, or they just go ahead and
well, dude,
say that?
In Sweden, they're not doing it. I don't know about brains, but I know in Sweden they're starting to actually put chips in their hands for vaccine passports.
They've been doing that for years.
But that's different.
Well, no, but now they're doing it for like the vaccine passport shit.
Hey, Zeke, but y'all love Baba, LOL. I never said I was a good human being. I didn't say anything about being morally opposed to profiting off China.
Yeah, I mean, we're not nice people.
China?
We draw the line at grifting.
Yeah, it's all for profit, man.
Well, I don't like Baba, but I'll be the only one here. But yeah.
Tell us why, Fabio.
Again, but
oh god,
no.
Okay, we have 10 minutes.
Simplify it.
The a very specific VIU argument, not the traditional VIU argument you see from people like Tom Nash or whatever. That I saw his take on it, and I thought it was absolute garbage, because he says it for the wrong reasons.
I want to hear what you saw from him after you explain yours.
Well, it very briefly, just basically, kind of going off of my personal belief of what the fundamentals to investing strategy should be is like you have to own the business, etc. I don't believe that it's going to be delisted. If you look from the United States, you got to believe there's some level of corruption that they don't delist it. Which, I'm not going to confirm or deny that is my opinion, but yes, it is my opinion. And then from the Chinese side, there's no reason for them to actually delist that or stop that structure because it's to their entire benefit, entirely to their benefit, because they can get something for nothing. And it's not all Chinese companies, by the way. There actually are a couple that are not in that same structure. It's just a specific group that the Chinese government have selected to be in that structure. What they deem to be high critical, and then the other ones that they're Tom Gash. Yeah. And then what he kind of stated was there's a big risk for delisting from, the United States. He was basically parroting a lot of mainstream media. I mean, however, he did say you can't trust communists from his perspective, from, I guess, his Russian perspective, which I can agree with. I can agree with on the sense that you don't trust the CCP, but, you can take, just because someone, says a lot of bad things doesn't mean they can't say, broken clock is right twice a day is what I'm trying to say there. So that's pretty much it with that. Yeah, I think I covered it. The more extensive, there's videos if you actually want to see it. It's like several hours long content. But I can't explain that in like 10 minutes.
You see, guys, we don't get too wrapped up in our individual stocks, even if we're wrong, because we don't have massive positions. So, I mean, Fabio could be 100% right, but we're not going to get annihilated, even if Baba does something really terrible does happen to it. So that's why we allow him to come on.
Yeah, I own Baba.
Have you guys
remember?
Seen the new? Did you guys see the new South Park episode where it was like South Park where they're grown up?
Yeah.
No, I wanted to watch it.
So good.
Yeah, it was great.
Dude, there's a part where they joke about how they're like, "Oh yeah, we only do cryptocurrency because
it's
trust
the future.
What was it? An overnight Ponzi scheme instead of federal banking." This guy in the chat, Danny Spirier, sounds exactly like the guy they're making fun of in South Park. It's hilarious.
Danny, I can decide if this guy likes us or hates us. He goes from like one to the other.
Does it make you that mad, Danny, that we're not buying into your pump and dump scheme? You need us to buy Bitcoin, so you need more demand, so the price goes up.
Actually,
yeah. Hey, Danny, you seeing this right now?
There's even a worse thing he said, which I'm going to highlight because he did say that we didn't understand anything about technology or whatever. But there's this comment he made about not manipulated on geopolitical or political aims. Well, this is actually the distinction I'm drawing, which is kind of showing me maybe he doesn't know. Oh, okay, well, he says Bitcoin because Bitcoin is one of the only closed systems, and closed system is how I define it. I don't know if that's an actual vocab term for it. But if you're trusting any of the other ones that have like developer teams, you're basically just trusting that they don't change the rules that you like, right? And then that makes it unviable already from the get-go. You need something that cannot be changed by anyone, first of all, and even then, it's not a sure thing. That's the other thing. Like, it's the value of its network, but how do you know the network's going to grow? You're speculating at best. So sure, you could be right, but like any of these guys right here on the panel, they're going to be fine if they just own assets because they'll just demand that currency, whatever currency wins. You don't have to participate in the speculation that something takes over as a global currency.
Yeah.
Buy bottle caps.
But I want to be a Dogecoin millionaire in US dollars, bro. Come on.
You play Fallout, Chris, ever in your life?
I have.
Bottle caps. You got to
Bottle
invest in bottle
caps.
caps now. Now.
Bottle cap millionaire.
Dude, I already invested in lead, so I'll just be stealing people's bottle caps.
Yeah.
I'm actually
Dude, I
investing in
hate.
a lot of-
Dude, I hate crypto so much that there was this Mexican YouTuber I used to follow. Once he started talking about cryptos and his portfolio, his bits of portfolio, I unfollowed him, and never watch again, because, as Fabio says, it's so speculative, doesn't have any intrinsic value, and you are promoting that to the Mexican population that don't even know a lot about personal finance and investing. You're just going to confuse people even more, and that's what I'm trying to talk about in my channel. Have a process, have a system, buy ETFs. Be as simple as you can, and this complicates things. I'm sorry to say that, but it is.
Why would you say that? We love crypto, Alex.
You hate it.
Yeah, dude.
Discussed how many hours we've spent. He asked how many hours we've spent researching crypto. For me, it's like I haven't spent any because I'm too busy living my life. The reason I buy index funds is because I don't have time to research overnight Ponzi schemes.
Well, it's also like, you have to, a lot of people on the internet want an echo chamber. They don't want to accept. Amazon's a great buy. It's just, that was in the comments. They explained everything they were doing. Yeah, I get that they're reinvesting all their cash. I understand that. Okay. I'm looking to pick up things on a fire sale. You might have a different investing outlook. Great. And here's how much thought I put into it. Yeah, I wouldn't do that, but that's you. Okay.
All I'm saying is, if you buy VT, you're actually like, your wealth has an underpinning. It's like all the future cash flows of all the companies that are in these.
Yeah.
When your money's in crypto, there's no underpinning. There's nothing holding up your wealth. I would be terrified if my wealth was tied up into something like that.
Well, it's also like this. It's also like this. This is what I don't get about a lot of the people that want to come on and make, well, you don't want to buy Microsoft, dude. Good luck. Do things come on sale? Do stocks get irrational above? Okay, yeah, they get equally irrational below. So why wouldn't I DCA into an index fund, stack some cash, and just wait for deals to come along? I've baked in a margin of safety, and you can still get amazing returns. Like Chris said, right after the tech crash, I don't know what the exact numbers were for Amazon at the time, but when it crashed, Jeff Bezos said, we looked at all the business fundamentals and we were like, well, we're fine. It's just irrationally priced. There you go. It was $100. It fell down to $6. Maybe you won't get that great a deal. But if you just, hey, I really like this company, like I joked about Microsoft. Okay, well, I'm going to wait till it comes on sale. Sorry, I'm not going to rush out and buy it. Tesla, no matter what you think, will become irrationally undervalued at some point.
Oh, I think as soon as the growth rates underperform or underproject, that stock is going to just freaking plummet. And that's the way to really look at it.
Even if you, and this is what I say to people, even if you believe the rosy assumptions about Tesla, okay, which I personally don't, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm not. But it will become irrationally undervalued at some point. Every single stock does. So why wouldn't I just wait? Why would I rush into it?
Yeah, like Tattooed Chef. It's a great buy right now.
Yeah, it is.
What I haven't been telling you is I liquefied all my positions and I just went 100% Tattooed Chef.
Well, on that note, we're out of time, ladies and gentlemen. So thanks for coming on, everybody. Any last comments, Jay, Fabio, Nathan?
I have one. Hey, Tesla shareholders, are you seeing me right now?
Neuralink. I'm getting Neuralink.
That was a great concluding statement.
Yeah.
Control
Very
my
Nate.
Tesla with Neuralink.
All right. Anyway, subscribe to our channels. I have a YouTube channel. Obviously, you're freaking on it right now. You have Jay Nagy. Go check him out. You have Capital Mindset. NathanRoscoe.com. I think he does like I don't know, transgender stuff on there.
I have a YouTube channel. You can just look.
And then you have Alex Valuehead Finance.
Hey, thank you for letting me be a
Thanks,
trans
man.
gamer, Chris.
You're welcome. Anyway, that's it. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you, everyone.
Good one, guys.
Bye.
Woo!